Hello everyone, it's Sal here, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a comparison video for you. We're going to be comparing the original Mon Guerlain Eau de Parfum with the Mon Guerlain Eau de Toilette. But before we get started today, if you enjoy this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future perfume videos. So first up, the original Mon Guerlain Eau de Parfum. I absolutely adore this scent so much. It is so beautiful, feminine, classy, sweet, kind of lavender, vanilla, floral with a touch of powderiness. It's just divine. So the notes of this fragrance are lavender, bergamot, jasmine, iris, rose, vanilla, sandalwood, tonka bean, benzoin, licorice and patchouli. And the main accords of this fragrance is aromatic, balsamic, sweet, powdery, vanilla and lavender as well. So this fragrance is quite strong. It's got your licorice and your patchouli in the base notes here, which give it quite a lot of that strength and the depth as well. I would say you can definitely detect a little touch of that licorice in here. So upon the first spray of this fragrance, you definitely get a lot of that lavender as well as an ever so slight kind of brightness coming from the bergamot as well. The lovely florals in here like the jasmine, iris and rose are sort of the heart of this fragrance, and then there's lots of beautiful things in the base notes to give it a lot of that richness, roundness and depth, which I personally adore. So in particular, obviously the vanilla in here is quite prominent. I would say the two most prominent notes is probably your lavender and vanilla actually, but the sandalwood, the tonka bean, the licorice and the patchouli, that gives it quite a lot of depth, particularly the licorice. I find that to be actually slightly detectable even when you first spray it actually. So it makes it stronger, kind of sweet. It's quite deep, suitable for daytime or nighttime, I would say. It's so beautiful. The thing I love about this as well, the reason I bought a huge 100ml bottle actually, is because it's so versatile a perfume. You could wear this anywhere. I personally will be wearing this to work, out on a nice day out. I've actually been wearing it a lot to bed as well. Like I've been so spray happy with this basically because it's such a big bottle and it is so versatile, so I'm not worried about running out anytime soon. So I've been spraying this a lot just anywhere. It's so beautiful. I think particularly in a professional setting as well, this would be great. So this one, it projects moderately. It sort of projects maybe at about arm's length, I would say. It's not what I would consider to be a powerhouse scent though. It's not as strong as some other fragrances, but I think it suits it in a way. I don't think this would suit being that strong just because it is so soft, feminine, beautiful and kind of classy. It's not one that really necessarily needs to shout to get noticed. This is almost, if you can imagine, like a quietly confident person, you know. This is like a quietly confident fragrance that doesn't really need anything in there that's gonna make it punchy or anything like that. Like it's just sort of beautiful in its own right and it gets noticed anyway because it's so unique and distinctive. Like it is very recognizably Mon Guerlain, like it's sort of its own unique thing. It's so well blended that I actually am finding it quite hard to pick out individual notes. The main individual notes that I can pick out, however, are the lavender, the vanilla, maybe some of the benzoin as it dries down and kind of warms up on the skin, and a little bit of that licorice as well. Overall, this is a beautiful fragrance, and I really enjoy it. I love it so much. So if we look now to the Eau de Toilette version of this fragrance. So this one was actually released the year after the original Mon Guerlain. So original Mon Guerlain was released in 2017 and then this one came out in 2018. So this one is a lighter, airier version of the original. So the notes of this one is mandarin, lavender, bergamot, jasmine, orange blossom, lang lang, vanilla, benzoin, orris, violet and caramel. And the main accords are floral, citrus, powdery, aromatic, vanilla, and sweet. So there are quite a lot of differences in the notes of this. So some notes have been taken out, like the licorice and the patchouli has actually been removed from here, as well as the sandalwood. So they've taken out quite a few of those base notes that probably give the original one that richness and that strength of smell. They've added in quite a lot of notes as well. So they've added in your ylang ylang and the orange blossom and the mandarin as well as some orris and violet. So the orris and violet together are going to give it this lovely kind of powdery, like violet accord. I think it's a little bit noticeable, but for me, the main things that I smell in this is sort of your lavender initially with the mandarin orange. And because they have the orange blossom in there as well, the mandarin orange and the orange blossom combined gives it that very, it's not overly like citrusy, but you definitely detect the orange blossom. And I think the mandarin orange just kind of like reinforces that a little bit. There's no rose in here either, so they've actually taken out the rose and it's mainly, the only florals in here are sort of your jasmine, orange blossom and ylang ylang and the violets. So yeah, no rose. Immediately, I suppose the original Mon Guerlain is a fuller fragrance. It just is much fuller to me. So that could be because they have rose in the heart notes and also maybe because they have those like deeper, stronger base notes. It's very, very well-rounded, well-balanced and full, rich and deeper than this one. But I suppose, to be fair, that's kind of to be expected with an eau de toilette anyway. This one is such a beautiful fragrance in its own right though. So this one, quite herbal when you first spray it with the lavender, orange blossom like I mentioned, and when it dries down it gets quite nice and sweet and caramelly, because they actually have added in caramel in the notes of this one as well as some benzoin and vanilla. So actually when this one dries down, it becomes very nice and sweet and smooth and sort of like caramel vanilla nuances to it as well. I think there's a whisper of violet in this one as well, but to me, just predominantly it's sort of sweet, caramel, vanilla, lavender and oranginess, like orange blossom. But it's just such a nice light version of the original, and the longevity is actually okay on this as well. So where I would be wearing this is like on days when I don't quite feel like wearing a strong fragrance, I reach for this. If I was going to a professional setting like an interview or like at my work or something like that, this is brilliant because it's not going to offend anybody, like guaranteed, because it's not in your face, it's not too strong, and actually the scent itself is just very, very pleasing. It's like a very pleasant scent, not challenging whatsoever. So I think this is an ideal one to have. Like, you cannot go wrong with this one. It's just so ideal. I don't know if it's being discontinued or not, but I picked this one up from All Beauty. It's like a UK website, and they had it for about 50% off or something like that. So I got kind of a bargain with this one, and I'm really glad that I did. So yeah, basically this one is kind of brighter, zestier, and it still definitely has that lavender and vanilla, and this one also has lavender and vanilla, but it's like shifted, different. It's a different mood. So the original one, I mean, it's shifted to a deeper, richer, sweeter, kind of more powdery as well. This one's a little bit more, I don't want to say watery because that gives like not a very nice impression, but it's less thick and powdery, whereas Mon Guerlain original, I think because it's just reinforced with that, I think that licorice is offering something really interesting here, and the sandalwood as well. Like, there's real structure to that one. There's a real kind of pyramid of notes and there's a depth, whereas this one to me, it's nice and I do really like it, but it's not got that same depth of character, if you know what I mean. It's very feminine, it's very beautiful. yeah, the original is more voluptuous. It's got the rose in there, and it's got the powderiness and the thickness and the sweetness. And this one's more a light floral with a nod to sort of your mandarin orange, citruses, violet, and the lavender as well. So this is a lighter version. It's slightly different. It's if we look at the moods that both of them give off, this one is like a brighter, easier, easygoing, lighter, like daytime kind of casual, I suppose, feeling about it, whereas Mon Guerlain is like deeper, richer, stronger. It could be day or nighttime, I think. It could be casual or a special occasion. It's just more versatile in a sense. Like, it's just, I enjoy the original one a lot more because it has more to it, I find. Oh, I absolutely adore it. I really, really like it. I can see the Eau de Toilette one being a favourite of mine during like the spring and summer, that type of thing, but certainly in the colder weather I'll be reaching more for this one here because it's a bit stronger, deeper and richer. So this one is more richer, balsamic, more aromatic. This one's more citrusy and floral, with the heavy base notes kind of removed. And I think when it dries down it gets a bit nicer actually, because the caramel does come out and it's this really kind of unusual, that's where this comes into its own, I think, because that's something that the original Mon Guerlain doesn't actually have to offer. It doesn't have that caramel note. So this has something unique about it that kind of makes it really nice in its own right. So yeah, basically those are the main differences that I detect between these two. I'm really happy to have both of them in my collection. I think there is a place for both because they are quite different. They give off different vibes to me. And let me know if you've tried these or which one is your favourite. This one, I think the original Mon Guerlain is definitely my favourite. Like, I don't ever want to be without this one now because I just love it. And to be fair, I think this 100ml should last me literally ages anyway, so but I also enjoy this one a lot. This is really nice. Especially, like, I do definitely get those days when I don't feel like wearing a strong fragrance, or if, you know, if you're getting a headache or if you don't feel well or something like that, a really light, easygoing fragrance is the way to go sometimes. And I think that's where this one could come in beautifully. So yeah, I love both of these. Longevity on both is also quite good. I can't remember if I mentioned that, but longevity on these is also good. And yeah, I love them. Thank you so much for watching, and again, if you love perfume, please consider subscribing to my channel. I make 2 new videos per week on perfume. Also, if you click the notification bell, you can be notified every time I make a new upload, so feel free to do that as well if you would like to. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.